It feels like not too long ago we were doing episodes on how great of a fit Donovan Mitchell would be with the New York Knicks, only for him to be sent to the great city of Cleveland instead. So how poetic is it that the Knicks' first round playoff matchup will officially come against the Westchester, New York native? And as things stand, the Knicks are already priced as clear underdogs, plus 166, to win this first round matchup against the Cavs, who find themselves a minus 198 favorite. That is according to FanDuel. However, the odds makers are indeed expecting this to be a close series. The most likely outcome in this matchup is a 7-game series, currently the shortest odds at plus 195, followed closely by a series that lasts 6 games at plus 200 or 5 games plus 230. Now, it is worth noting the Knicks beat the Cavs in 3 of these teams' 4 meetings this season, including last Friday's 14-point win, which was an insane matchup between Jalen Brunson dropping 8 and Donovan Mitchell dropping 42. And you and I have gone on and on about how enticing of a battle this has the potential to be. So what we're going to do now, first and foremost, go ahead, drop your comment, because we want to know who you guys think is going to win this series. As of recording, we have 9 days until they actually meet. Plenty of time. So drop your comments. Let us know who you think is winning this series and in how many games. And that said, my friend Jason and I, as you guys know, this man has had a hard time guarding me all year long, but we're going to go ahead and break down this matchup sector by sector. Now, I don't say position by position because I want to talk about areas of the game. So first and foremost, let's talk about the bench. Well, I'll ask you about this, but I'll tee it up by saying this. The key guys coming off the bench for the Knicks: Emmanuel Quickley, Josh Hart, Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein. And for the Cavs, Ricky Rubio, Karis LeVert, Lamar Stevens, and Chetty Osman. So your opinion on how the benches match up in this one?
Yeah, the Knicks outplay the Cavs bench by a long shot. There's no way they can compete with those guys. There's no real offensive power coming from anywhere besides Karis LeVert, and who also has a little bit of experience. But, he doesn't even really look the same. I watched Cleveland play the Hawks in Atlanta. He doesn't move the same as he used to. So I'm not sure if he's 100% or not. But if it comes down to the bench, the Knicks is going to kill the Cavs.
I tend to agree with this one. Listen, when you have the guy who's going to win the 6th Man of the Year award, more than likely at least, it's tough to justify that the Cavs are going to be beating the Knicks in a battle of the benches. And listen to this stat about quickly that I read today. NBA players this season who have 1,000 points, 300 or more rebounds, 250 or more assists, and fewer than 100 turnovers. Do you know how many guys fit that criteria?
I would think maybe 20.
20 guys? You think 20 guys? Okay, the answer is 1. And the only guy who's done that this season is Emmanuel Quickley.
Wow, he takes care of the ball.
He takes care of the ball, and he gets the ball around.
Because a lot of guys probably fit that criteria minus the turnovers.
Probably, but, he's taking care of the rock. There's just the progression that he showed. And, yeah, listen, there's a lot of fascinating matchups in this one. You never know because I say the Cavaliers bench is more experienced, but the Knicks is definitely more talented. And if this game comes down to how the bench is, what type of production you're getting from the bench, I think it's a no-brainer that you're leaning with the Knicks. But again, teams shorten their rotations during the playoffs, so the bench factor in this is going to be fascinating to watch. But again, I think you and I are both leading Knicks. But let's talk about the guards, because to me, this is the most fascinating matchup of them all. You've been harping on it all year long, but I know you've been saying it. There's a certain piece of mental real estate that Jalen Brunson may own in the head of Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I called it, and that dates back to when Jalen Brunson was with Luka Doncic and the Mavericks, and they were playing against Utah Jazz in that 7-game series. And Luka went out, and Jalen Brunson's number was called, and he showed up, and did he show out? His numbers were astronomical. He murdered Donovan Mitchell and put him out, and had the Utah Jazz break up their whole team, organization, and everything, right? Because he got shipped up and shipped out. So with that being said, Jalen Brunson, you don't forget that. I mean, that's why he had 48 on the 31st. Granted, Spider had 42, but 42 wasn't enough to get the W because at the end of the day, that's all they caring about, right? But at the end of the day, this is the playoffs and this is different. And you said they might be more experienced. I'm not so sure about that because Lamar Stevens, I think he's out of Penn State. He might be a rookie or a second-year guy. He don't have no real experience. And Chetty Osman, he definitely don't have that much experience. And Karis LeVert definitely has a little bit of experience, but always injured, right? In and out the lineup, not really consistent. And then you have Ricky Rubio.
Rubio's experience. Chetty Osman did win a title with them.
Yeah,
Karis LeVert can play. So just throwing that out. I mean, you want to talk experience, Chetty Osman's won a ring.
Okay.
I'm not saying he was why they won a ring, but he won a ring. Okay. But to your point, though, if you look at that Mavs Jazz playoff series last year, Jalen Brunson put up 27.8, 4.8 boards, and had an assist to turnover ratio of 4.2 to 0.7 and a plus 22 plus minus.
Damn.
Donovan Mitchell that series, fewer points, fewer rebounds per game, more assists, but also 3 turnovers a game, minus 39 net rating. So Brunson was very clearly the better player in that series, and obviously they won the series as well.
I was going to say, he won, right? They advanced without Luka.
Yeah.
Remember that.
But to answer this, you know, I know Donovan Mitchell's a great player, but with how Brunson has looked this season, I'm going with it. I think when it comes to the guard play in this series, I'm leaning with the Knicks.
I think those guys offset each other, you know, because Grimes plays a lot of good defense, and Garland, you know, listen, at times he scored the ball at a high level, but, you know, he's looking to make the pass too. Donovan Mitchell is really the offensive threat.
So who are you taking?
Out of the guards?
Are you just saying even, or are you going to pick one?
Yeah, I'm going to say they offset each other.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So let's talk about the defense then, because this to me is the one area where I think objectively you have to take the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Knicks offensively, they were 5th in the NBA in offensive rating this season. 116.8 points per 100%. 116.8 points per 100 possessions. It's a mouthful to say, but it's worth noting Cleveland does have the top defensive rating in the league. They're averaging 110.1 points per 100 possessions. They allow the fewest points per game, 107.1. And Evan Mobley and Allen, both in the top 20 in block shots per game this season. So it's a serious defense. It's a serious defense.
I like that. But one thing I'm scared of, Hank, is the fact that they haven't had to on 7 games, right, or a playoff series, go with a man like Julius Randle on the opposing side that's just going to continue to attack and attack and attack. And dare I say, if they get in foul trouble, what happens? There is nothing that happens because there is no one that is backing either of those guys up. So with that being said, if when, because they will go to the bench at some point, it's open season for the New York Knicks, right? That's what I'm saying. Maybe they offset with the starters, but like you said, that bench is very important.
The bench is very important. All right, so I think we both agree on paper, and the numbers all indicate the Cavs definitely have a better defense than the Knicks, right? And you bring up Julius Randle. Well, I guess that leads us to the bigs section of this. Who has the edge of the bigs in this matchup? To me, if healthy, it's the Knicks, but that's the biggest X factor in all of this is we don't know what Julius Randle is going to be. So I guess the better question is, because rather than just speculating whether or not he's going to be healthy, how far can the Knicks go assuming you don't have a 100% Randle? Can they win this series if Randle is not 100%?
No. They can take it as far as 6-7 games, but they cannot win the series without Julius Randle. They need Julius Randle because he's going to rebound at a high clip. He's going to score the ball at a high clip. He's their leader, right? As much as Jalen Brunson is their leader, Julius Randle is as well. I think those guys share a co-captain type of
Yeah, like a
position.
co-captain role.
Yeah, a role / position for that New York Knicks team, and that's just without him, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think it's hard for them to go far without Julius Randle. But I will say this. It's a small sample size because Randle is so good at staying healthy and he's always available. One of the things I really love about him, the ball moves a lot more when Julius Randle is not on the floor. I'm not saying they're a better team without Julius Randle.
No
but
doubt.
I'm saying the ball moves a lot more. Their game last night against Indiana Pacers, who I get it, they are tanking, not a top team. But their game against the Pacers with no Julius Randle, quickly 39, Obi 32, Quentin Grimes 36. The ball moves a lot more when Julius Randle is not there. And in the playoffs, that's where the Knicks went wrong in 2021. I know it's a much different team. I'm not saying we're any similar to that. It's a different opponent, but that was what went wrong for the Knicks. Julius Randle went 1-on-5 and it got exposed. Shots that would fall in the regular season did not fall in that playoff series against Atlanta. So that's my take on that. I hope Julius Randle is healthy and he plays and he's 100% and good to go. But if not, I'm not saying they're necessarily out of it.
I just think that he would help Jalen Brunson to take on that leadership role, just to have that his presence on the court would help. I know what you're saying, but let's just say Julius Randle was playing, but he was a little off and he was just on the bench, or maybe he fouled out. Just having him there for emotional support for Jalen Brunson, I think, would be big too, because of how much those guys have leaned on each other all season.
Yeah. Listen, we all need cheerleaders in our life to support us from the it's very important. The emotional support you get from Julius Randle. It's crucial. Let us know who you think. Let us know who you think is winning this series. Drop a comment. We want to know.
Be a friend of a friend.